Take a seat.
Thank you, man.
So, the first question is, how did the meal go?
What?
How did the meal go?
Yeah, what? Oh, it's alright. It was alright. It was alright, bro. It was alright, man. Yeah, no, it was good. It was alright, man.
Yeah?
It was alright, man.
That was a really good film.
Yeah,
I really
no, I liked it as well. Yeah.
And the cinematography was great.
Yeah.
Storytelling was great. And I cannot confirm or deny I know anyone or have been a part of the first opening scene with two friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, don't you? Yeah. We money to sell out. But anyway, it was great because it started and it ended there. For you, obviously being on screen, one thing about Inspired that we absolutely love to do is to balance the whole spectrum. And what that means is filmmaking absolutely is the heart of what we do, but we want to forecast talent that is in front of the screen as well. So, being from Bristol, obviously, did you film that in London?
Yeah, we filmed that. Everything was filmed in London.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how was that going up to London as a Bristol-based actor and going up there and being part
It was
of
alright,
the
man.
experience?
To be fair, I only was there. It was probably about 4 days. So all of my part got filmed in about 4 days. Nice. So we had 1 day was rehearsal, and then 3 days of filming. That was basically this time last year. So we filmed it all this time last year. It was basically all throughout the summer. It all got kind of staggered out throughout the summer. And then I think it finished around February, so they managed to get everything and they edited it all down and got it all perfect down there. And then February it was made. They had to do some finishing touches, and here we are showing it around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How strenuous is it to become a professional actor and to get that level of recognition that I know that you can absolutely do?
Yeah,
but
thank you,
in
man.
terms of the grand gesture,
Yeah.
like you're walking on the road and everyone knows who Scott Bayliss is.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends what your motivation is, isn't it? That's not really my motivation for me to kind of walk down the road and everyone to know who I am. It's just to be able to perform in things that I enjoy. I want to tell stories, innit? You know, so if I can tell stories and be a part of things, and especially this as well, you know, I've worked with these guys for years, you know, worked with these guys since probably 2016, 2017, you know. We did a film called Mulatto with my brothers Nathan and Omar in the audience as well.
Can we give Nathan and Omar a round of applause, please? Thank you very much.
We did a film called Mulatto years ago with them, and then since then we've just been working together. And then this film is basically, it's kind of like an unofficial sequel of a film we did a few years ago called Last Summer in Oxford. That's where the filmmakers are from. They're from Oxford. So it's kind of like an unofficial sequel of that has the same kind of characters in this film here, but it's a different kind of story. You know, it's more kind of naturalistic than Last Summer in Oxford, which is on Amazon Prime. If anyone wants to watch it, go and watch that. But yeah, man, it was great being a part of this, and it's just about trying to tell stories and be a part of, you know, film, theatre, just being a part of things and growing and just progressing, you know.
And it's the artistry that I mentioned before, actually, in the introduction of, you know, most of the monologue then was all it was internal, then it was external, then it went back internal again. And I think that's one of the joys of cinema that you can actually celebrate, is the fact that you can choose whatever narrative you want to choose and then project that. What do you think in terms of, you know, the Southwest, because Inspired is Southwest based, in terms of what you'd like to see as an artist stroke actor within the Southwest?
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying for years in Bristol we all need to come together, innit? We've been saying for years we need to come. Oh, Fazer, I didn't even know Fazer was in the piece as well.
Oh yeah, you were very good actress, by the way. You're very natural on screen.
And that's the same thing. Been in so many of films with Timon and Elias as well. So it's just trying to get something together, you know. Just trying to get people together, you know. You see, I think we were talking outside, innit, about, you know, Scorsese has the same kind of people in each film and trying to progress. And obviously you want to get new talent in, but at the same time you want to grow the collective that you have, you know. And there's a lot of talented people in Bristol, not just actors and things like that, but musicians. Got my brother Mega there, who's a musician. That's right. Music thing, you know. So, you know, and Monair as well does his music as well.
Be honest, you're feeling inspired, innit?
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what
it's inspired, innit? But yeah, what you're saying, innit? We just need to try to come together and just create, innit? You know, it's hard because obviously being from Bristol, you know, the limelight is very much on major cities, especially London, you know, Manchester, Birmingham and places like that. But, you know, as Bristolians, you know, we got stories to tell as well. There's a lot of history in this city. You know, there's a lot of things that's happened in this city, and, you know, we're going to create more history, so we just got to come together. And, you know, when we're doing pieces like this, we got to promote ourselves, and, you know, we got to just keep on going.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what would you say to anyone that's in the audience that maybe, because the thing is, things happen in life, right? We start something, it's our passion, we feel alive when we're doing it, then all of a sudden something depletes us and it stops it. There's somebody in the audience that potentially was a filmmaker, life happened.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they found themselves here because they want to feel inspired. What would be your advice to them?
Well, that's the thing, man.
In front of the camera as well as in the film industry?
Yeah, but that's the great thing about it. There's no age limit, you know. You can, you know, being a part of film, you know, music, anything you want to do, creative outlook, you know, there's no age limit with it. So, you know, you can start at any age. You know, you can start at any age. You can pick it up. You can, because, you know, we all live life, innit? Life happens. Things get in the way and things are happening. But, you know, as long as you got that dream there, you just keep on going. You know, it's hard with social media and stuff like that because you always look upon next people and you just think, yeah, or, you know, they're doing this, they're doing that, or maybe I'm not doing as well as I should be doing. But you can only run your race, innit? You can only run your race and then just take it as it comes. And when you're doing pieces like this, you know, feel inspired from it, you know, feel inspired from it and think, you know, I did this today, you know what, yeah, I rated it, it's good, you know, let me just try and keep on going. And then that's all it is. And then eventually, you know, you get that big break sometimes in a way, you know, but even you don't want to be working towards a big break. You want to be working towards, you know, just trying to get better as a performer, innit? You know, as a performer and, you know, for me personally, just want to try and make sure that I'm just getting better as an actor and just, you know, as a human being, as a man. Yeah.
And I think that you just, you know, the industry we're in, ladies and gentlemen, you
this
have
man,
to...
This man,
yeah, that's it's all good, it's yours. Mine's the fizzy, yours is the still.
That's good. You don't want no fizzy.
Nah, it's all about the fizzy war, but that's for another time. But anyway, you know, as filmmakers, as people in front of the camera, as hosts, as presenters, as journalists, we have to be really perseverant, because the thing is, as we know, editors or commissioners will look at certain work, will have a trajectory like BAM, it's going to be on the big screen, and all of a sudden, boom, it just disappears. And I think that we're aware of it, but I think that we have to have that closed mentality in terms of getting something done, which you've demonstrated very, very well in terms of just getting it done, looking at how you can self-improve in terms of looking externally, and for validation, it's about that internal dialogue, which is really, really important. And I think, you know, between yourself and all the talent that you've mentioned, we could definitely do that. And I think in Bristol, I was mentioning this before to you two earlier when we was chatting, if we had something that really, really made us stand out in the world of film, I think that would be great. How we do that, I don't know. But I feel as though we've got enough talent and resources within the Southwest to make it happen. And it is events like Inspired that happens. And I don't want to hear anymore, oh, Bristol, yeah, it's amazing. That's where Ronnie Size comes from, and Massive Attack. I've heard that for too long now. It's dry, it's boring. Yeah, it's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, like Ryan's my family. But the point is that you hear it so much. And it's like, but what else is there? There's Blonde.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Blonde was around, it was quite big. They kind of went in the music scene for a while. You know, there's other things that happen in Bristol that maybe people don't know about. But at the same time, it's like it's time for a new revolution now, and I don't mean that lightly. It really is, because I think we can do it.
Yeah, definitely. Man.
You know, but we have to stay in our own lane, and we have to really think of what that is. And I want you to all network with each other. I want you to speak to Gary. I want you to really get ideas together, because I do believe we can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm talking on a bigger scale than Casualty and Holby City. And they sold us out. They went to Cardiff. But anyway, that's for another day. But has anyone got any questions for Scott in the audience, by the way?
So quickly, I just want to say, I didn't even notice you're here as well. This is Dad here as well. You did the music. You did the music. You did the music. You did the music. Shout, if I see you there, man, I have to just say yeah.
No, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're in your prime now. I'm exiting my prime, so it's all cool. Like, you got to do that. It's fine. Has anyone got any questions at all? Go for it.
So the script, was it like? So, what was the script like? Did they have it so like you had to say word for word, or was it more open?
Nah, it wasn't word for word. Yeah, obviously he gave me, I can only talk on my scene, innit? I can only talk on my parts. But he gives you, obviously you have a script there, But he's saying, you know, if you want to ad lib, if it's certain words that feel more natural for you to say. Because for me personally, you know, in that scene we were talking about RuneScape, I never heard of RuneScape before. And I never heard of RuneScape before I did that. So I'm having to do that scene, and that was all, when we were shooting that scene in the house as well, that was all one take, so we wanted it all to be one take so it kind of flows. So the camera's moving, everything like that. It's all one take. You got to remember, it's like August time. It's really hot. It was really hot that day as well. We had to shut all the windows because there was construction workers outside. So there was for the sound and stuff like that. So it was a really hot day. And then obviously talking about RuneScape, I don't really know much about RuneScape and stuff like that. So I had to obviously look into RuneScape, look into what it's all about, like the game and everything like that. But certain words and things like that, I just put my own spin on it. To just make it feel, because what they were looking for with this, like I was saying, they were looking for it to be really natural, innit? So they want it to be like a natural, because his mid-20s is about, is personal, innit? They wanted it to be about, you know, people coming together and people speaking and, you know, just real life.
Just to add, your gaming face was natural.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the
same look my son got when he's on the game.
Man. Just put your own spin on it, really. Put your own spin on the words.
Great, thank you, man. Thanks for your question. Any other questions at all? Don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, this is why you're here. Otherwise, I'm going to pick on you. I don't want to do that. How about the guy at the back there with the glasses, smiling at me? This guy here. Yeah, come on, now you got a question. Yep, just think of something. On the spot!
Do you feel like this is going to lead into a third film?
Yeah, definitely. Well, obviously, I got a shout out you as well, man. You were in last summer in Oxford.
Oh, right, okay.
You were in last summer in Oxford. So,
do you feel like they plan to do a trilogy of this?
Yeah, well, this was supposed to be, when I spoke with Timon first, it was supposed to be a feature. So it was actually supposed to be a feature film, but when we filmed it, they just thought it might work better as a short film. But definitely, I think, you know, we kind of keep the same actors and we kind of do the same things, and you know, you can see the same people in this was kind of in the last summer in Oxford, and you know, it's just kind of growing. So I think, you know, it's about just telling stories, and then hopefully, they just come up with the next script. I've got an idea for you. It's called Nearly 40. Might have to get some different actors.
There you go. It's cool.
Yeah, well, you shout you, innit?
That's a whole different world right there. Thank you, brilliant. Any other questions at all? No? Everyone's just chilling. Okay.
Cool. I've got a question.
Cool. Yes.
Do you have an agent?
Yeah.
And would you recommend? How did you go about getting an agent?
So for an agent, you want to have Spotlight. So Spotlight is like how do I explain Spotlight? It's basically, that's where all the acting jobs are on. So all the acting jobs are on there, but you need to have an agent to put you forward for them. So I guess most people heard of like Casting Call Pro or Star Now and stuff like that. So you have Star Now and things like that, but then Spotlight is like the level up from that. But you need an agent really for them to. A lot of the roles on there, you can only really get put forward for them if you have an agent. So you can have Spotlight, but you need an agent to really get put forward for the roles. So that's where you're looking at a lot of the TV roles, a lot of commercials, those kind of bigger budget kind of end stuff. You need Spotlight for that. So you want to try and work towards getting Spotlight, and then you can send that to an agent, send them your Spotlight information, and then you know, kind of put them, and then you can try and get signed up with an agent. But I think it's important to have an agent, but at the same time you want to try and make sure you're making your own work as well. Because this wasn't from an agent or anything like that. This is because I've worked with Timon and Elias before, and I think it's important, you know, that you don't want to be that kind of creative or the actor, me personally, who's just waiting for the phone to call you every time, you know, just doing a self-tape here and there, you know, because that, you know, it can get a bit depressing if you're just doing that all the time and just waiting for the phone to call all the time. I think it's important. You got that avenue, but at the same time, you know, you always got to be sharpening your tool. You always got to be working and just trying to progress. So just putting yourself out there in different ways, and then you can just hopefully just keep on moving forward, man.
Question just came into my brain actually. I'm gonna give it to you. What is your ideal role? Ideal role. So say for instance now somebody here was a casting agent. They said, right, Scott, we got this role in X, and I
wouldn't say a particular kind of movie or something like that. I'd say, you know, I like them kind of those new raw kind of BBC dramas and stuff like that. I feel like how they film it and the stories behind it I feel like I would enjoy being a part of that. You know, just a drum, just a role that I can, you know, sink my teeth into. You know, that my character has depth, that I can really, you know, just look into my character and try and be. Because what I try and do, I don't try and go kind of full method, but I try, because I do a lot of theatre stuff as well. I would say, theatre, I would say theatre as well, probably. Performing shows at the National, things like that. That's something, you know, I've performed at Bristol Vic, I've done a theatre tour last year where I was performing around the country, but I would say, a mixture of it. Just as long as the role has depth and as long as I can really get into the role, then that's what it is, man.
And these chairs are talking to
me.
These
guys talking to me.
So the film, because inspired last year, we played another film that you played, because I think it's really important to be a diverse actor or actress. And that was a real heavy one, and that showed a different side of you. That was all about Control. Okay, tell us about Control, because I want to show people your acting spectrum.
Control was a film that I wrote and starred in. So it's myself and another amazing actress, Zibia Zoe, and she's we did it together. But I wrote it. It's basically about a relationship, kind of control in a relationship kind of aspects, and that's why I wanted to just play with the theme of control and just see how it works. And then I thought, let's try and bring it into a relationship, and then just kind of play with it. So we haven't actually released it anyway. we still need. We put it up for a few showings, but we want to try and get it into festivals and stuff like that to get it out there.
It's really good, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Everything Prime?
No, this that's maybe we'll have to get it out there. But this one here, it was something that I wrote, and it's kind of just about controlling a relationship. It's kind of like an abusive relationship situation, but I think that we were talking about, we want to try and maybe even make a prequel to it or a sequel, but we got to try and push that and get it out there as well.
It would be, and for you to do that, it's like the cycle is just continuous.
But that's the thing,
like 1, 2, 3, and it goes back to the beginning.
That's the thing. But you want to try and keep yourself busy, innit?
Absolutely.
You want to try and keep yourself busy and just keep on going.
Is there any way we can see it at all?
Control. To be fair, I've got it on my laptop, but we need to talk about, because we are trying to get it into festivals and stuff like that. So getting it into festivals and stuff like that, it's a bit sticky with putting it out there. You kind of have to, you want to do it like that. But when that comes out, you guys inspired to tell Gary, the big man there, and then we'll get it out there.
It was good, and I think I think that the fact that you've got such a realism around how competitive acting is, and the fact that you can write, because again, as a journalist, quote unquote, with me, in the early 2000s, you just had to be a face and remember and kind of hold a conversation. Now you've got to edit, you've got to self-shoot, you've got to do so much different things.
It's like what I was saying to you, innit? Like, if you don't want to be just waiting for the phone to call all the time. You don't want to be that, But see, if it's working for you and stuff like that, then it can. But I feel like that can be. It can be hard, man. You're just waiting for the phone to call the time. You want to make sure you're doing, and that's what I only started writing during lockdown, because I thought, you got this time, let's try and do a bit of writing. I'm trying to do it, I know my brother Omar trying to do his thing as well with the writing as well. I'm just trying to get things happening, because it's hard if you're going up for auditions and stuff like that and you're not getting a part. You know what? I'm gonna make my own something there, and I'm gonna put myself in it, and I'm gonna put our people in it, Bristolians, and we're gonna get it out there.
It's mad, because I was explaining earlier to Yasmin, like, now conventional television, terrestrial television is kind of now. And imagine having a streaming service that was as predominant as Netflix, where you could go on and you could watch films like this all the time. You would have a whole new resource there. And I know there's Gala and other places that are starting to do this outside the infrastructure of the well-known streaming services. But it's about actually thinking that we've got the resources and the ideas to make our own stuff. And that's really important. And before you go, is there anything that you would like to add? Because you're quite an inspiring energy. We like you.
Thank you, bro. I like you too, man.
Is there anything that you want to, because again, for me, it's not about anyone feeling depleted, regardless, because every single person in this room has got their own circumstances, their own lives, but their love of film and their love of creativity is brought them there. Is there anything that you would want to add to them if they've got to this stumbling block where they're kind of thinking, ooh, what do I do next
Yeah,
in terms of being in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, we always have stumbling blocks, innit? Like, stumbling blocks is just a part of life, really, innit? You always have things that are going to come unexpectedly, you know, just time and unforeseen circumstance, you know, always just comes about, innit? But we just got to keep on doing what we're doing. You know, if you believe in yourself, I think that's what it is. You just got to believe in yourself. You know, you got to believe in yourself, and you're always going to get knockdowns in every industry, but especially being a creative, it can be hard at times. And you just got to just keep on going, and then eventually you reach for the stars, innit? That's what it is.
I like that. That's good.
Reach for the stars. I said that Bristolian.
Reach for the stars. All right, ladies and gentlemen, one of the actors of MID20's, this is Scott Bayliss. Round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. My second bit done. I'm going home to 3 daughters now that are going to be feral, which is absolutely great, aging from 15 to 3. But anyway, apart from that, it's been a great day today. I've really enjoyed it. I personally just want to say that I genuinely believe that we can be the new centre of creativity in not only England but the world. It is events like Inspired that's going to make this happen. Your input, no matter how small it is or no matter how big it is or who you're connected to, is what's going to drive Inspired to the next level, because we want to keep this going, we want to grow this, we want to diversify this with as much skill sets as we possibly can, so that the young filmmakers are seeing this as a really preeminent point in terms of their progression within the industry. So anything that you could add on the social medias, anything that you could add in terms of the feedback to Cables and Cameras or the Watershed would be much appreciated. Before I go, is there any further business or questions? I reckon we got one more question. Thank you, my brother. Microphone, please.
Thank you. My question was more on the writing side of things. As you said, you wrote Control. With writing like a short film or a film or something like that, how much did you plan out before actually writing it? Like planning out the characters, where the story was going to go, story beats and stuff like that.
Like kind of, yeah. I would say a little bit of planning, a little bit. I don't know if I did it the right way in that sense that a lot of people kind of mind map and do all of this stuff to it. But my sense was just, you know, pick up the pen. Well, in my case, open a laptop and then just start writing. You know, just start writing. Have an idea in place, start writing, and then, you know, after I make that first draft, I don't need to send it off straight. I'm not going to send it off. Like, you know, let me look through it, let me analyze it, and then just keep on going. So I think, yeah, obviously there's planning in place, but I think it's just about doing. I think it's just about doing. If you've got an idea in your head, you know, all right, let me just put it on the page. Let me just see how it looks on the page. Okay, it needs this doesn't work. Let me just, you know, it's just about analyzing it like that, really. But I think the main thing is just, for me, just start doing it. Because I feel like sometimes when I'm planning to do everything like that, and I'm planning all these little bits of part of it, let me just go into it like that. That's with a short. I'd say maybe a feature, then of course, yeah, a lot more planning would have to come in place with a feature, with the characters and whatnot. But I would say with the short films, I would say just write and see what happens. Yeah.
Don't box yourself in either. That's what I'll say to you as well. Because a
man.
lot of people will say, will people understand? It's like being dyslexic. It's one of the greatest gifts that the universe could ever give me, because I can't think rationally. So I'll sit down and I'll look at something, but I won't look at it in a formal way. I'll look at it in a completely weird way. But predominantly with the students that I work with, it makes sense to them. So what I would say to you is, if you've got an idea, don't hold back, regardless of how dark it is or how light it is, because actually each and every person that watches that film is going to have a different perspective on it. And that's where the power lies. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah? All right, good question, by the way, as well. So before I go as well, remember you do have Homegrown coming up, and that's with Corrine Walker and also Sophie Freeman. It's hosted by Dr. Mina Fombu from Black Wave, and then we've got Traveller as well after that too. But again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Keep supporting Inspired, the Watershed, and also Cables and Cameras, and more importantly, the talent that we have here at 2020. Big up Gary, big up Gary as well. I was going to say that, but I learned from last year to shut my mouth.
Thank you, Jnr.